All right, so I just wanted to show you a perfect example of what happens when you have a cheaper window installed in your home and what happens over time. So here I have a window that is approximately 20 years old, and it's exhibiting a lot of the problems we see with cheaper vinyl windows in the industry. So number one I want to show you up here is, if you look, so this frame doesn't have a whole lot of strength to it, and it's got a big bow. You can see it on the sash right here. Why does that matter? Well, that means that the window's not going to seal correctly. It's not going to function correctly. Then, as we walk through it, there's been a couple other problems with this window. So as I unlock it here, it falls out. Why does it fall out? Because they use cheap hardware and plastic, and these things have broken off, and the sash actually has fell completely out of the window hole for the homeowner. As well as, if you look on the bottom here, this should be a metal piece that goes in there. That's completely separated from the sash, just like this one, so it no longer sits in here. Now, that caused a couple other issues with this window, if I can even get it back in here. So since the frame has warped, the sash doesn't sit in there correctly, and because it only has two areas of felt that contact the frame itself, you can see all this dirt along here is where it's just like a cigarette butt. You know, when you see it's been smoked and it leaves that tar behind, this is the same thing. So air has been getting through here, so this window is leaking. And then it has cheaper hardware in here, these old springs. They don't even move down anymore without a lot of force put on them, so the window fails to operate. Furthermore, if you look at the screen on this particular window, this screen is made of fiberglass, and over time that fiberglass just falls apart. You can see how easily it rips, and then you end up with holes in the screen. Pause. So also it matters what kind of caulk the installer uses, because you can see, I don't even know if they ever did, but there's a hole there. Any kind of water that gets in is going to get right inside the wall, and that's going to be a moisture infiltration for you, and it'll rot the wood and everything else, cause mold problems on the inside of the house. So whoever you have do a window for, you got to make sure that they use the best caulk in the industry and it won't disintegrate like that. And actually, I can see there was caulk here at one point, and it's now completely gone because it was probably just some cheaper stuff. So again, this is a fiberglass screen versus a more expensive aluminum screen. Wears out really quick. The top of this window has a big bow in it. That's affecting everything. It's not sealed up. It's not operating correctly. And then when we look in the middle here, the windows aren't meeting up correctly because they are cheap vinyl windows. And you can see that the felt weather stripping is loose. And that means this window's leaking like a sieve. It's also a big security concern because if it doesn't line up properly, it's not going to seal right. And the point is here is cheap windows aren't good and good windows aren't cheap. We'd be more than happy to always give you a free estimate on what we do. No pressure. That's not the kind of business we operate. Give us a call, 313-287-9525, or visit us at www.levelupimprovement.com.